In the previous video, we have seen the features of planning and the importance or advantages or significance of planning. Today we will see the limitations or the demerits of planning. Though planning is an important tool of management, yet it is not a solution to all problems. Unforeseen events and changes, rise in cost and prices, environmental changes, government interventions, legal regulations all affect the business plans. So there are a number of limitations, a number of problems encountered even after having proper planning. Let us see some of the limitations of planning. Number 1, planning leads to a rigidity or limited flexibility. Once you have made a proper plan, you need to stick to it. A well-defined plan is drawn to achieve some specified objectives within a specified time period. Now, these plans are for the future course of action, and it is not possible for the managers to change them because this is formulated by the top level management. The middle level or the lower level managers cannot change the plans. They are to strictly adhere to the formulated plans irrespective of changes in the environment. So this becomes quite rigid and inflexible for the managers to act upon such plan because they have to rigidly follow and stick to the plan. They cannot make changes, so it becomes very inflexible for them. So this type of planning may not bring any kind of positivity in the organization. Next is planning may not work in dynamic environment. Dynamic environment is which is changing continuously. Such environment is called dynamic environment. Now, planning may not work in such type of environment, as once you plan for a specified time period, for example 3 months, 6 months or 1 year. Now, if you have made a plan for a time period and the business environment changes in a material way, or there is a considerable amount of change in the business environment, in that case your plans may not work. Whatever planning you have done may not be able to work in such dynamic environment. Next is planning reduces creativity. With planning, the lower members, the middle level managers, the lower level managers are neither allowed to deviate from the plan, nor they are granted to power to act on their own. So this reduces the creativity of the middle level as well as the lower level managers, because the top level managers always try to make the subordinates work and stick to the plan strictly. So their own understanding, their own creativity, their own technique and way of solving the problems are not taken into account when you have proper setup planning. So planning also reduces the creativity of the employees. Next is planning involves huge cost. Planning is a very costly process. Huge costs are involved in the formation of plans. Money, time and effort are to be spent in forecasting, gathering and analyzing information, boardroom meetings, preliminary investigations to find out the feasibility of the plan, evaluation of various alternatives, etc. Planning is an intellectual process and companies need to hire professional experts to carry on this process. Sometimes the cost incurred may not justify the benefits derived from the plan. Also, planning is very costly and non-economic process, as money, time and effort, everything needs to be spent for planning. Also, professional experts are hired to make forecasting as well as planning for the organization, and the cost incurred in planning may not be equitable with the benefits that are derived out of that plan. So planning is also involving huge cost in that. Next is planning is a time consuming process. As we all know, planning is a lengthy process which might lead to delay in action. Planning consumes a lot of time for collection, analysis, interpretation of data. Thus, planning is not practicable during emergencies or crises when quick or on-the-spot decisions are required. In such situation, existing plan may have to be abandoned. Planning may cause delay in decision and actions. Sometimes so much time is taken in formulating the plan, as a result of which very less time is left out for the implementation of such plan. So planning is also a time consuming process, and with such time involved in planning, the benefits of planning may not be derived appropriately. Excuse me. Next, planning does not guarantee success. Planning is just the method or the way to achieve the success. It depends upon the instincts of the managers, professional experts, their interpretation and analysis skill. Managers have a tendency to rely on previously tried and tested successful plans, but it is not always true that a plan which has worked successfully in the past will always be successful in the future also. So planning can be implemented, can result in the benefit of the organization, but you cannot take planning as a guarantee for success. So what we have understood from here, planning is very important tool of management, but it is not a solution to all the problems of the environment. Unforeseen events and changes, rise in cost, prices, environmental changes, government intervention, legal regulations, these all affect the planning process. So what we have seen here is limitations of planning. We'll see them once more. Number 1 was planning leads to rigidity or limited flexibility. Number 2, planning may not work in dynamic environment. Number 3, planning reduces creativity. Number 4, planning involves huge cost. Number 5, planning is a time consuming process. Number 6, planning does not guarantee success. So these were the 6 points of limitations for planning. Now we'll also see the planning process. What is the process of planning? How do we conduct, or what are the steps involved in the process of planning? Number 1 is setting objective. The first and foremost step in setting objective or goals which specify what the organization wants to achieve. For example, increasing profit by 25% could be the objective of a company manufacturing stationery items. So first of all, we need to set up what are the objectives of our company or of our organization. Through that only we will be able to find out, or we will be able to make the best possible way to attain such objectives. Next is developing premises. The second step is the planning process is to develop premises. Planning is always done for uncertain future. Therefore, the manager is required to make certain assumptions about the future, which are considered to be the base material upon which plans are to be drawn. These assumptions are called premises. You need to make some assumptions for future. You need to collect material, collect information which will be helpful for planning. That will be known as developing premises for planning. Next is identifying alternative courses of action. First of all, we have set the objectives, that these objectives are to be attained by the organization. Next, we have developed the planning premises. After that, we'll see what are the courses of action, what are the alternatives available with us, what are the processes through which we can attain such objectives. Once the objectives are established and assumptions are made, the next step is to determine alternative courses of action which may be used to achieve the set objectives. Then after, we need to see what are the alternative courses that may lead us to the attainment of the desired objectives. Number 4 is evaluating alternative courses. Then we need to evaluate each alternative as to what are the risk, cost, time, availability of capital. We should compare all the objectives. The feasibility and consequences of each alternative must be scrutinized before a choice is made. We need to scrutinize each and every alternative with all respects. Thereafter, we need to select an alternative. We need to select as which alternative is the best, which is the most feasible, profitable, with least negative consequences. That alternative must be selected after we have made the proper evaluation of all the alternative courses. Next is implementing the plan. After we have selected an alternative, we need to implement such plan. This step is concerned with putting the plan into action. This step involves organizing for labor and purchase of machinery. After after we have selected the alternative, we'll put the plan into action or put the plan to work. And the last step is follow-up action. We need to check whether plans are being implemented correctly and activities are being performed according to the plan or not. And if there are any modifications to be made, we need to check it, we need to make it, we need to monitor the plan as per the planning that was made. We need to check all the processes that whether it is going according to the plan or not. This is called follow-up action. So once more, let us have a look on the steps of planning process. Number 1, setting objectives. Number 2, developing premises. Number 3, identifying alternative courses of action. Number 4, evaluating alternative courses. Number 5, selecting an alternative. Number 6, implementing the plan. And number 7, follow-up action. So this was the steps involved in the planning process. The next day we'll see about different types of plans. And till then, if you have any queries regarding this, please inform me through text or call on my contact number. We'll continue with the next video. Thank you very much and bye.